I'm Trevor.
I'm Trax.
Welcome to the Red Squadron Podcast. Welcome back, guys, for week 9 of the podcast. It's been a while.
I know.
That
marks the over 2 months mark.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Awesome.
So thank you guys for joining us once again. We're very happy to be here. We're happy that you're here with us. We've got some good topics today. We have some fan questions. I think they're both fan questions. The intro topic came earlier this week, and then a fan had emailed us a list of questions, and this is one of the bigger topics that we could cover. So, Trax, my intro question to you is, in your opinion, which species, civilization is the most technologically advanced in Star Wars?
Alright, so this boiled down to 2 options for me. The first one being the Mon Calamari. Mm-hmm. Alright, if you don't know that species, that's Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Alright? Their arc in the Clone Wars, I think, showed their society is very, very evolved. Their water tubes that they travel in is awesome. They're also known for making really great ships. They're known to have great shields because of how they're so deep in the water. And then when they come out, they're still just as strong. They have very strong hulls in their ships. So, and then some Empire admirals even were like, these are some of the finest ships we have ever gone against. Mm-hmm. And it was the Mon Calamari ships. So I thought that was really cool. I guess I can couple the Corrin in with them because they share Mon Cala.
Yeah.
That rivalry is interesting. I think they could prosper more if they worked more cohesively. Yeah. But that's a story for another time. I just think they're a really good group, and if I had to take, if I was making a fleet, I couldn't pick, the Empire or Star Destroyers and everything. Yeah. I would probably take a fleet of Mon Calamari ships. Yeah. That's my personal.
Yeah, no, they're my number one. Again, their ship making is, I think, unparalleled. Mm-hmm. I think there's also, I feel like it's a comic strip. Mm-hmm. It's talking about, I think it's Prince Lichar, mm-hmm. and, how he had his whole, they were building this fleet to rebel against the Empire, and they get squashed, but the person actually had to make it so that other people could defeat the Empire. Mm. It's something like that. I'll have to look back into it.
Yeah, I wonder if the Corrin had something to do with that.
I don't know. It's somebody told him it's your destiny to stop the Empire with this fleet or mm-hmm. whatever. But that person knew it wasn't his, but they knew that these ships would eventually. And that's the Rebel fleet. It's basically at least the flagships are Mon Calamari.
Yeah, you see them in Rogue One.
Rogue One flagship Mon Calamari, very well made. Can't argue there. So in terms of wartime and travel, they're mm-hmm. huge. Mm-hmm. And then you add on just obviously if you're civilization underwater, you obviously had to engineer all that mm-hmm. stuff. So still pretty impressive.
Is that why most of their ships have a pole going down? It's almost like a thing for a boat underwater.
Maybe, yeah. It could be.
I wonder.
Yeah. So we have lots to look into that.
Yeah. The second one I had were the Umbarans.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. I just remember that arc being the first time I really saw the Republic struggle against native species to the planet. Yeah. I don't remember there being a ton of droids on that planet. They were pretty much just going against the Umbarans.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
Yeah. So that struggle was amazing. Their ships are awesome. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I was making a fleet, I would get our Mon Calamari as my main Navy ships, and then my if I make the analogy, my TIE fighters would be the Umbara ships that they use, the ones that Fives and all them used to go blow up whatever that thing was.
Yeah, well, and they were they had to use those to get into the ship because they couldn't otherwise. Mm-hmm. It was it was very secure, mm-hmm. and then that centipede thing, that was a unit.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I would say that's a good pick. I didn't expect mm-hmm. that. I would have expected you to say, and I would just probably my number 2, the Kaminoans.
Ooh.
Vivian crossed your mind?
Shoot! That was a good one. I just considered them, I don't know why I was Republic. I'll just put them in the same umbrella. I should have just said the Kaminoans. That is ridiculously dumb by me.
No, I think the Umbarans is a sleeper pick, and I think it actually makes a whole lot of sense. They are very technologically advanced, it seems like. But Kaminoans, it's hard to argue with. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Camino, in it of itself, to build that kind of in the middle of the ocean, mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. Kamino is beautiful. It's got so many different chambers, secret tunnels, stuff like that. And then obviously they're so proficient at cloning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've been doing it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
They are literally known as the cloners.
Yeah.
That's what Dex refers to them as.
Yeah.
Cloners.
Cloners.
Yeah. I also have a little bit of a weird take. I put Jawas in consideration. Not for the advancements they make, but for, they can just do a lot of stuff with the limited resources they have.
I get you.
So their feats are kind of cool, considering that they're not, they're not original. They're just scrapping together pieces.
I get you. No, I get you. What do you think about the Geonosians? Creating the droid army, creating the beginner level Death Star type things. Those spaceships. Coming up with those plans a little bit. Prong, what's his name? Prong the Lesser or something?
Yeah. The one who Anakin chokes out. Yeah.
They're very fundamental to the Death Star.
Honestly, and their weaponry is pretty elite. The green...
And I like the sound,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they charged that thing up. It took out 3 Jedi right then and there. I was like, holy smokes. Geonosians, I would have no problem if somebody said that.
Yeah. Can you make that noise for me? How do you think it goes?
Oh, gosh. Do it one more time.
No, I think it's like a boing.
Wow. Something like that. Yeah. I keep on getting, I almost did the seismic charge. I was like, they sound kind of similar, but different.
Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else in consideration for you?
I think you're ready to just boil down to those. I think there's Mandalore was up there a little bit.
Yes.
Their forging abilities, and then their city is pretty well. Somebody had said but we're doing species. That's the thing. Somebody had said Coruscant. I'm like, Coruscant's kind of like everybody.
I'm pretty sure that was a humanoid, almost like a human.
Yeah, because they howled out that whole planet basically.
Yeah,
I mean all the levels. So that's pretty big. In Legends, well, I don't know if they're canon. The Yuzhang Vong and stuff are probably pretty technologically advanced. You know what I'm talking about?
Sort of.
Those are the ones that I think Palpatine feared.
Oh,
that's
yes,
the Empire, right?
Yes, and they were probably saying he was building up this huge army to eventually deal with that. Yeah.
So
I mean, when I actually looked up this question on Google just to see what Google would say, it was all Legends.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I'm actually just gonna have to come up with my answer. Yes, I'm like, I don't have any help with ideas, so I think Mon Calamari number 1. Although you saying Kamino is really put a stamp on me for some reason. I should have put that number 1. That really bothers me, actually.
It came down to Mon Calamari and Kamino. I was thinking, okay, maybe he'll choose Kamino, so I was choose Calamari.
Yes.
Yep. There's also Ugnaughts and Wookiees.
Yeah. Wookiees, they don't take advantage of their technology.
No, but they're good at it. I mean,
great.
Chewie in the Slavers episode, or the Trandoshan Hunters episode, not Slavers.
Yes.
Creates the comms out of nowhere, kind of.
Makes a little satellite to communicate. Yeah. I mean, they're very well versed in it, but I don't know why we don't see too much of it.
No.
And also, all their ships are kind of exposed. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
It's a huge design flaw.
Yeah, but clearly they
got no shields.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a primitive. It's primitive, but it's also very talented.
Their crossbows are some of the best things.
Yeah.
One of the best weapons to have on you.
Ugnaughts, I don't really know about their home planet, but they were forced into servitude to make the Death Star and stuff.
Yes.
So they have to be pretty
good. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Got anything else?
I'm good.
All right. That's it for our intro topic. We'll be back with our main topic. Sorry for the stutter, which is: was the Empire the real bad guys? Were the Empire the real bad guys? Welcome back to the Red Squadron Podcast, guys. Today's main topic, we're going to be talking about who was the real bad guys in the original trilogy, the Empire or the Rebels. This is actually a much more complex topic than most people would assume. All right, to the casual viewer, they might just say, obviously the Empire is bad.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what Trevor has to say.
Yeah, so this is also a spin-off of a question that one of my housemates actually asked. They're like, I'm confused on who the bad guys are and who the good guys are. And in general, they really haven't seen Star Wars, so I know they're actually referring to on the surface, like, you know, like who's bad, who, like, and, you know, Jedi, Sith.
Because the Empire gets a lot of fandom.
Yeah. So I think they're just more like they are just confused about it. They haven't seen enough to actually piece the whole story together. No. But I wanted to explore the question, like, are they actually? For me, I think if you look at it objectively and if you took it into real world, the rebels would be considered the bad guys.
Oh boy, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Provide some justification for me. So
first, like, the Empire is the governing body, elected.
Okay.
It was elected, you know, and this is how the democracy dies is to thunderous applause. Yes. They were elected. Okay?
Yes.
They became more of a dictatorship and he stayed into it, but they allowed it. In the prime, the Republic allowed it to form the Empire.
Yes.
So, you have something that rose to power justly and fairly, you know, and he's pulling strings behind the scenes, right? So, but they, you know, the majority of people agreed with it.
Yes.
So they are...
That's kept on getting emergency powers, Chancellor Palpatine did. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So they are the governing body. The rebels just don't like... It's almost like saying the rebels just don't like the laws and rules they're coming up with.
Yeah. History analogy, if you're new to Star Wars, it would be like the rebels are the American revolutionists back in the day against Great Britain. Is essentially your kind of thought. But from Britain's perspective, they were terrorists, and so we're saying the same thing about rebels.
Yeah.
Is your perspective.
Yeah, and again, because they are. You have an organized government, and it is organized. All right, so we've already established they were elected, like chosen, and people were okay with it based on the Republic. And then you could go, okay, well, they could still be bad because they're unorganized or they're not, but they're organized. They're on, like, every system. They're trying to be on every system. They're trying to provide, in sometimes messed up ways, security.
Yes.
Right? I'll bring justice and security to
to
my new empire.
Your new empire.
So they were providing that security. I would argue that piracy and stuff like that was down in the planets that they were on.
Oh, 100%. I would probably say that.
So that's...
But they're cutting down on the third party crime. But the citizens under the Empire that just lived on, like, a planet like Lafal or something, I mean, they were being treated very, very poorly.
But that's not to say that all, you know, in...
I'm sure Coruscant was actually a great place to be during the rise of the Empire.
Yeah, well... in EA's new Battlefronts, isn't there a story? There's, like, stories about the ISB officers and stuff. Like, not all of them were inherently bad. There's a comic book where Luke meets a stormtrooper. I mean, stuff like that.
Most stormtroopers aren't. You know, I think they think they're actually doing good, and they actually just want a job. Yeah, it's like most people do. They want a job, provide for themselves and their family. Gary the stormtrooper wanted that.
Yeah, Gary. So, like, I think the Lothal just depends on who the commanding officer is. And that's reflective of real world problems too, right?
Yeah.
The head of that doesn't necessarily reflect the entire organization.
So when does the Empire start for you? Because I'm going to throw a Darth Maul quote at you.
Okay.
Season 7, he goes, "For what? The Republic to fall, it already has, you just can't see it."
The Empire starts when they get rid of the clone troopers.
That's when you think it starts?
Yes.
Okay. So, I think...
He's more metaphorically saying, like...
Yes, he is.
He has already come to power. Palpatine has already come to power and you just don't realize it.
Yeah, and all of the values of the Republic are already gone.
But...
I would say very little changed.
But the democracy was still there until... Because, in theory, although he's in the position of power... If all of a sudden everybody just gained a conscience and was like, no, we're not electing, he couldn't have maintained the systems with what he had. He would have been kicked out.
Yeah.
He couldn't have stopped the entirety of the Republic. Like that, and that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Once the Republic got behind the Empire, we will now be reorganized into the,
Yes.
Then they start giving him funding. Then he has the stormtroopers and the army. Then it's a whole different story.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. For me, it was about morals, a little bit.
Yeah.
Who would go to a greater length to achieve what needed to be done? The Empire every time. You have extremist groups. You have extremist groups like Saw Gerrera.
Andor.
I mean...
Andor, since he insinuates that he's done bad things for the rebellion in Rogue One.
Okay. Yes, but look at what the Empire has done. They killed 30 to 60 million people. Historians are still trying to verify that number. Star Wars historians.
Joe Costanu.
See, that's a good spin-off episode. Yeah. Operation Cinder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you guys played the Battlefront 2 campaign, Operation Cinder was brutal. I don't think you're ever going to see the Rebels do that. So it's about the links. Operation Cinder is where they have these... I don't even know what to call them. They're like huge mini Death Star lasers that are just torching this planet all over, killing millions of people. And this is right after the Empire fell. So they're a little bit petty. They have a lot of morals that I don't agree with. I wouldn't go to the lengths the Empire did.
How many people died on the Death Star?
1 to 2 million each time. Okay, what do you want them to do? They're gonna blow up the...
No, I'm just saying that for throwing out numbers, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, but how many people did they save by blowing up the Death Star?
They saved their rebellion. Death Star wasn't blowing up planets until they were trying to find the rebels.
But they could have.
But they didn't.
They could have destroyed countless planets. Planet rebels?
Yeah, so we're circling back to they rebel.
Yeah. They're freedom fighters. They're freedom fighters. All right? Padme said, liberty died. People value that.
Then they voted for it. Or they
didn't realize it.
Doesn't matter. Those are the people, those are supposed to be the elected officials, and they were like, yeah, Empire. And nobody questioned the Jedi falling, really?
Well, that's because of the public opinion of the Jedi at the time.
Yeah, see? So it's on the people.
I don't know. But, I mean, just having the Death Star is a little bit too much for me. You can't have that type of power and be seen as a good guy. To be able to destroy a whole planet with probably more innocent people than rebels most of the time. Mm-hmm. Most planets were probably full of more Empire-loved people. Just having the Death Star is like an abuse of power to me. I don't want anybody having that. Can you imagine if we had a Death Star just out there? I would be a outstanding citizen.
Yeah, see?
But not by my choice, though. Not by my choice.
But you would have been an outstanding citizen.
Because they could have done whatever they wanted. They would have been like, do this, or...
Okay,
see that
so their way of going was not good, but they would have made outstanding citizens.
Some people. But yeah, you got a gun pointed to your head, you're going to do what the guy says most of the time. That's how I see it.
And if he says follow the rules...
I'll have to, because you got a gun pointed at my head. So that makes you a bad guy. That makes you a bad guy.
Ethically. You took it ethically. I'm saying objectively, rebels are bad.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Was there any justification in destroying Jeddah?
Destroying Jeddah? Well, they didn't destroy...
I mean, they blew up almost a quarter of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
No, it was justified.
Justify it.
It was a sleaze pool of criminals.
Saw Gerrera?
First off, he's a reckless. He committed war crimes.
Saw Gerrera was probably a bad guy.
So his faction, yeah. And then I looked at Jeddah as kind of like the Most High did. They even had those same two criminals, the Unwanted and 7-star, whatever star system. So it was a sleaze pool of criminals.
But there's no justifying destroying that whole thing, in my opinion. The rebels were hurt by that. You got the guy coming out of the ship for Jeddah, and then he gets popped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the rebels did a lot of good things. If you think about how they went about their business, they would always prioritize the people first. They were freedom fighters. That's my main point. Okay. Is that a hot take? I don't think it's a hot take. Fighters? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, the rebellion even condemns the actions of Saw Gerrera. That's why they broke off. Saw Gerrera wasn't even really part of the actual rebellion. He was kind of just a...
And then that rebellion officer told Andor to kill Jin's father.
An Imperial officer building the Death Star.
Yeah, that's justified. No, but that's what... No, that's... No.
That's justified.
No.
Why is that not justified?
Because he's being forced to do it.
Okay, well, how about this? Okay.
And he's sending you secret messages on how to destroy it.
They didn't know that. But anyway.
They did know that. Okay. Saw told them.
Well, the guy who told him to kill Ursa was not aware of that. But Cassian didn't shoot him. He decided not to.
No, it's not act like he's a hero for not doing that. Sounds like he's done it a lot before.
Yes, but he
only did it because he wanted Jin.
Oh.
Yes.
No, they had a friendship.
No, they
were a friendship.
No, they were not.
There was no love chemistry between them.
He wanted there to be love chemistry.
No, I don't think so. If there was, I'm 90% sure he would have kissed her at the end of Rogue One.
No, he was waiting for his chance.
His chance?
He had to play it cool.
Oh my god, there's a huge blast coming towards me.
He had to play it cool.
We survived this.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But the rebels, okay, also the reaction after the second Death Star is destroyed, Emperor's dead. Every planet is celebrating. Every planet.
Okay.
So doesn't that mean that most people want him to be free from Empire rule?
I think they thought they did, and then they didn't like the New Republic's rule either. So, like...
Where'd you get that from?
The fact that the First Order even comes to fruition and becomes a main power.
Okay, well, yeah.
But, like,
I don't think...
Yeah, they complained because they wanted the freedom, but then other planets paid for it, like the piracy, stuff like that. Mos Eisley went back to a sleaze pool, the pikes, like...
The cost of freedom is high. Always has been.
Yeah.
You know, you get that reference? Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh!
But why... Yes, when you have that freedom and more liberty, yeah, you kind of get more crime. So, like, it's gonna be happening.
I know, he just made them all cheer, George Lucas did, because the Empire is, on the surface, the bad guy. Like, they're the bad guys. He's not gonna have a movie where his bad guys that he's been building up for 3 movies lose and everybody's just like, oh no. I'm saying objectively, if this was real life, the rebels would be extremists at the least.
Okay. Whose rule would you rather be under? The Empire or the Republic?
It's tough. It's tougher than you think.
You're an average citizen.
No. Here's why.
Okay.
Because maybe the Republic before Palpatine came, I would say the Republic. But the New Republic we've seen in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, it's actually just infiltrated by a bunch of ex-Imperials and stuff that are actually making it worse. Like, I wouldn't feel safe in that system because you wouldn't know who to trust. You wouldn't feel... And the Republic's spread too thin. So if I'm not a main world planet, I wouldn't want the Republic. If I'm an Outer Rim planet, I'd want the Empire. If I was just doing my own rules, then yeah.
That surprised me that you say that because I thought because piracy flourished in the Outer Rim during the Republic, right?
Yeah. So I'm saying if I was... In inner worlds, I would want the Republic to govern me.
If you're in the Outer Rim, but that's mostly piracy out there.
If I was in the Outer Rim, I would want the Empire to be the governing body because they had units out there.
No.
That's what
if you're like an average citizen, you're
not a pirate. If I'm an average citizen.
Okay,
sorry. Yeah.
I wasn't
Why would I be a pirate?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you be? It could be fun.
Yeah, right. No, so for the average citizen, it's 2 different perspectives. Like, if you're a rule follower and you're on a system with not much going on, like the Empire probably wasn't that bad to them.
Okay, I'm gonna make another argument. Rebels, Kanan's death, right?
Mm.
They shot the whole thing to blow up and kill 5 rebels. That is not morally right to me. I would not want to, like, they just killed hundreds of people. Just to kill 5 rebels.
We'd have to look at that. I don't know that they meant to, because those were their fuel storages and stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I said, are you sure you want to fire it? And she said, yes. Boom. And they meant to hit it, because it was a guaranteed kill.
Okay.
That to me doesn't.
But again,
I wouldn't want my government doing that.
That's one system. That's the equivalent of one police station or one soldier somewhere else doing something that isn't morally right. Because this is a galaxy with thousands of planets.
Yes, it is.
Like I said, if I'm a normal citizen on a pretty peaceful world, I think the odds are that life's not that bad.
I would say if you're on Coruscant, you actually probably have a good life. In the Empire.
If you're in the main world.
I would say there's probably good parts of the Empire. You would have to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
I would never, if I was under rule of the Empire, I would either be a full-fledged rebel, or I wouldn't deal with them whatsoever.
Yeah. I think, like, the actual answer and, like, the true answer is the Empire is the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, objectively, not looking at ethics and stuff, the rebels are the bad people. There's
From perspectives, yes.
Yes.
From a majority of the Senate's perspectives, yes. But you even have Senate members who are part of the rebellion.
Yeah. So, but if you're watching as a fan, not to confuse you, the Empire is the bad people.
You can tell they got these scary masks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're, like, historically based on bad people, I think.
Yes, they are. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Anything else you got? I'm trying to...
What about, you know what? What about this? What about Leia that just kills that stormtrooper?
They said stun!
He wasn't gonna hurt you.
He said stun!
She just killed him.
They're trying to capture her.
So? With non-lethal force?
Okay, like, she heard him stun. Set the stun. She didn't hear that.
They weren't gonna kill her.
Okay. She got tortured, though. I would fight for my life.
How bad did she really get tortured?
Probably not that bad, because she was...
And she was laying in, like, that paint me French girl pose. When Luke opened the door in the prison, you're not laying like that. You just got tortured. You're like, I don't know. You're like, you're recovering.
Maybe it was just like a truth serum.
Yeah.
Because it looked like he had some injections.
Dr. Ball, MD.
Yes.
Yes. I'm a doctor. Anyway.
Alright, speaking of that, they blew up Alderaan. Peaceful planet. Neutral planet.
Not neutral planet.
Okay.
Bail Organa, Leia, like, heads of the rebellion.
They had nothing to tie it to the rebellion.
But it was.
It was, but they had nothing to
how about
tie
the fact that she told them the base was there?
No.
She said Dantooine, but no, wait.
She said Dantooine.
Oh, they were starting to blow up.
Yeah, she gave them an answer, and then they still blew it up.
Yeah, well, because she was lying.
Bail Organa was a respected senator of the Imperium. He should not have gone out like that.
Shouldn't have been supporting the rebellion. I don't know. I'm not. No, yeah, they're the bad guys, but I'm just saying, there's plenty of.
I'll agree with you that obviously, if you're an Imperial citizen and you love the Empire, you probably do think the rebels are the bad guys and terrorists and extremists and ruining life, and it could be so much prosperous. We wouldn't have to do all these things if it weren't for these guys.
I got a question for you. If there was no rebellion at all, like nobody was rebelling, would it have even been a violent galaxy? Or do a lot of these like power-hungry Imperial officers and crude ones come and be recruited because they need to shut stuff down? Like if let's say the Jedi get wiped out and they just scratch the clones like normal, or they do it the right way, right? They're like, okay, you're retired. Mm-hmm. And they form the Empire, would it have been that bad at all if there's nobody fighting?
If there's nobody fighting, I really don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah.
But people love their democracy. And people...
They didn't.
Eventually they realized they did, or else there wouldn't have been a rebellion. But I do think if I was an average Empire citizen and there weren't rebels on my planet, I don't know if it would be that bad.
No.
I really don't. If I abided by the Empire laws...
Wasn't Jack Black's character an old Imperial guy?
I think so.
Yeah, and his planet was great. They were flourishing. Had droid societies there. They had great food.
I feel like we do see a lot of people flourish under the Empire, actually.
Yeah.
But we usually say the higher ups.
Yeah. Well, again, ethically they're wrong. Mm-hmm. Looking at the movies, they're the bad guys.
Yes.
I'm just saying there's definitely some basis to be like the rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, and I might be jumping ahead too much. And even more interesting conversations. Who is the good guys? The Federation or the Separatists? Sorry, Separatists or the Republic. That is a more confusing.
I don't know that we have time to answer that.
I don't think we do either.
We can revisit that at some point. Do an episode on like the politics of the scene because that one's more political than it is like ethic.
Yes, 100%. It is absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's it for me. That's my main.
That's it for me. Thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate having you here. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube page, Red Squadron Pod.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us again. Comment down below, as always, like what side you're taking in this argument, and we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.